Good, good. Hello, everyone. Make sure,
Buenas noches.
yeah, what she said. Make sure the chat could hear everything clearly in the chat before we get started. Yeah, we good. Yeah. Hello, for our Wednesday outreach. I'm glad that you're here. A lot has been going on. We're excited about things that are happening, positive shifts in the spirit. We're happy about that. But today's class is, well, let me just first, before I do that, let me just introduce everybody here. Let me go back from the back, introduce yourself, and then come back, and then we'll come over here. We'll do something different today.
Okay, I'm Cavassier. Ain't gotta be cricket. OD Guru, nephew D. A better path for you. Something like that.
No, it ain't something like that. He got a better pass for you.
I'm Keith.
I'm Sam Samantha Joy. I bring the joy.
All right.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm
Love
Ryan
that.
Fire.
Hey,
And I'm Kiana.
Sit. I'm Queen Aya, of course. I'm Lady Dove.
Andreltaylor.
And
Dog is fine. Not
the
bad.
gorgeous one. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we might be in a different location. We'll see. But while we're here, we have Chris in this place. We have had a great time being here, and so we'll see where the Spirit of the Most High will take us next week. This class, I came up with this class because Nye and I were talking, and it was some great things. A lot of times, a lot of things that we teach, I teach about a personal experiences. It just makes it realer, you know. And I said that we were speaking about love, right? We're speaking about love. And this is going to be fun. This is going to be real fun, real interesting, real illuminating and enlightening, okay? So we were speaking about love, right? Why? I said, I asked Naya, did you love anybody that you were with before? Bring your whole mind. We're just sharing real life experiences. We do it often. Did you love anybody? So she thought about it. And she says, well, yeah, I had love for people. And I said, well, what is love to you? Right? And I said, I have a reason for asking you these questions because I know what it means to me. I know what love means to me. Right? Love to me means understanding, patience, loyalty, structure, honesty, transparency. I said, that's what love means to me. So, watch this. So, when I say to you, I love you, that's what you get from me. That's what you know it means from me. I want to know what it means when you say it. You see what I'm saying? So I posed it as, did you love somebody before?
Wow.
And you guys can think about the question. Did you love somebody before?
No.
What did you do in those relationships? Were you faithful?
Right.
No.
Were you honest?
Were you honest?
No.
No. Did you said, well, no, I had love for them. I said anything that has to do with love, those things come with it. So if you had love for them, you would still show up for them with those things I told you come with it. So let's analyze that. You had love for them. Did you show up to them in the way I said I love you? Well, no. Okay, well, what do you think that was? And she says, well, what did you say, baby?
So that's just caring for somebody
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, you can't say that you love somebody or have love for somebody if those things are not involved, right? So, because I know that those things, I wasn't giving those things, right? So there was no love in those relationships or situationships, you know. So it's just simply caring for somebody, you know. So, yeah.
So, why was this important to flush out? Because when she says she loves me, if you love me the way you love them, guess what? You could have that back.
I don't want that. I don't want that right there.
I don't want that.
Right.
I don't want that. Right?
I don't want his sandwich.
Yeah, I don't want. If that's what you consider loving somebody or having love for somebody, yeah, you could have that.
Yeah.
Right? So in relationships, it's important to see what people's point of references are about words that they say to you. It's important for you to take the time out to work that out. It's important. And you will see the things that come from that people have point of references for things that don't have those meanings to them. Right? Because when you say I have love for somebody, even that was a throwaway line. That was like, well, I don't got to love them, but I got love for them, as if to say I don't have to be as committed. I don't have to be this. I don't have to be that.
It's accountable.
Yeah, but it's still a throwaway line because it's not having love for them either.
It's not.
Right? So if you grow up with this idea of what you think love is, and when you really find out that it wasn't love, and then you can broaden it out. Well, did your relatives love you? How do you know? Did your mother love you? How do you know? Like Naya was like, well, you just assume because somebody is how'd you say, your relative, that,
you know, like they love you. You have your mom, your dad, your siblings. It's like you look at it as them having to love you because you're family.
Right.
Right. But not everybody know what love is.
That's right.
You know, and it made me think about what me knowing what love is now. It was like, you know, from my dad, my mom, it was like me not getting that, right? Because it was like, it's like generational curses. You
That's
know,
what you were saying.
people have their own idea of what they think love is, and that can ruin people's lives, you know, because if somebody think that what you're giving is considered love and it's not really love, they would, they would take that and think that's what love is, you know, and it'll be this constant thing of, you know, you go from one relationship to the next and you're thinking that this person's idea of love is better than the next person, but you don't actually get what love is, you know, so what the actual love, you know. So yeah.
What defines love?
Exactly.
It's important that you work in these relationships, you work these things out, because words have worlds, right? But people have different ideas of what they think love is, right? Which is why I said, when I say I love you, I want you to know what accompanies what I'm saying to you. What do you think about that, Doug?
I was gonna say, even with care, when I think about care, if I care about somebody, I'm not even showing up. I'm showing up the same as love. I think that it's like I said in a previous class, now that I know what love is, I look back on my previous relationships and I'm like, that was never love, right? Because I was trying to nurture something into love, right? So there could be love present, but there was no love present, right? Because those things didn't exist. Honesty, you know, being able to trust, support, all those things that come with love, or even caring about somebody. Somebody says, I care about you, I love you, but you ain't showing up. the way love and care is supposed to show up,
Mhm.
then none of that exists. And that's why people go through what they go through in relationships today, because it is not present.
Mhm.
It the relationships lacks all of that. And so then there goes the vicious cycle of the, like I said before in a previous class, of the woman in her nurturing capacity to try to nurture love out of somebody. Like, I'm going to treat you pretty much like a baby so that I can get out of you what I feel like I want to get out of you, which is love, right? Because we have a little tiny bit of an understanding what love is. If somebody shows up for you, they do stuff for you, or they're honest,
What you
or
said earlier.
and all those different types of things that you don't get in the world. Men do not show up like that. And I'm not going to say all of them, because I don't believe it's every single relationship, but I do believe it's most of them. And I know that in my previous past relationships, there was never love. It might have been lust or something like that, but that's about it, right? And that's the problem, because that's what relationships are built off of these days, right? And even though a woman wants to be married, she wants to have a family, she wants all that, now, it's pretty much turned to something else, because women these days really feel like a man never wants to be married, and a woman now, she don't want to be married either. She wants to be her own so-called independent woman that's doing her own thing, making her own money, because she thinks that's what love is, right? And so, yeah, that's how I look at it.
Mhm.
But just looking back at my past relationships, and like I said again in a previous class, is that the woman is always going to try to nurture the love out of somebody. She could be being abused. She could be being hit on, whooped on, all these things. And she will stay because somebody say, I love you.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. But then don't back it up with the action to prove that I love you. I love you is you need to stop hitting me. Right. But then she gonna stay there because she believing like, oh, he's really a good person. He just got mad.
Or maybe it might be
You know?
she doesn't know what love is.
She don't.
So if she doesn't have a point of reference of what love is, and she associates love with an attention with, he operates like that because he cares for me.
And not only that, I've seen it to where women feel like they deserve it because they say, well, I did such and such, so I deserve that.
Mhm.
Or I made him angry,
Mhm.
so I deserve that. Like, it's the same thing.
Right.
Like you said, they don't know what love is,
Mhm.
right? And when you don't know, then you accept anything, and it includes abuse.
Well, it can.
It can include
Yeah.
abuse.
And I think that
Yeah.
also, it's just like what you wrote in your book as far as how they showed up before. So a woman her mind would be stay there. Oh, he was this before, so that's who he is. But this other person that's showing up, it's probably not who he really is, but it's saying like trying to nurture that, like, okay, but I know who he is, so just staying wanting to holding on to that version of that person, although they're showing who they really are, but just holding on to the good, all even through the abuse, So
I see it another way too. You know how you said like a lot of men will be, and women too, will be like, well, I'm not being this because she's not being that, right? So it's like now because she's not being that or he's not being that, again, we go back to nurturing that person into what they were in the beginning when they were never that from the start. It was a facade, right? It was a show. So now she's feeling like it's her fault, and now she got to nurture him back to a particular place because she's so-called not living up to what he wants. So now it gives him an excuse not to be what he's supposed to be.
So I want to go back to something that I've heard both of you guys say, that it could have been lust. I doubt the idea that lust. Women, on the most part, men operate more in lust than women do. Women try to be reserved. What I would say it is because, see, lust is a temporary thing.
It is.
So if you're in a relationship for 2 years,
It's
it's not lust.
Yeah, it's not.
Right? So because I want to make sure that we identify these things for the people out there. So what is it? You like them.
Yeah.
That's it. You just like them. And it doesn't have to be that he was the most attractive thing. It could be something about him that you like. What I realize about women is the things that a woman will like about somebody, and it's just how I've said it before. A guy could have broad shoulders. She could be into a guy that got broad shoulders. She could like that and build something off of that. The way he walks. I just like the way he walks. Nobody else will see it like that, but she is saying, oh, just the way he walks just does it for me. Right? Or he has a beautiful smile. That's how women are. They're detailed. Or he has a beautiful smile, right? But that's old time.
That back in the day.
That's back in the day.
he
That ain't. They don't care nothing about that. They probably say, "Go get your legs fixed now." Yeah. So what I'm saying is that it would be things that a man would never even think about. Right? He has a nice smile, and it's something that she could like. She might not like a whole bunch of things, but it could be just one or two things that she likes. And that will allow her to go into the what? Experience. So then it becomes the experience that has the staying power. Listen to what I'm telling you. The experience then takes over, and now the experience has the staying power. Now you're having an experience. And women love experiences. Right? So there's no love, there's no lust generally. But there is I like, or there is an experience. Right? The lust could end really fast if you have it. But then that experience, I'm about to have an experience. Yeah, that'll last you. It'll last you until you want to have another one. And then you might go find somebody else to have another experience with. Especially if within your communities, you hear about experiences. You got friends talking about their experiences. So then you become open, right? You got your sisters talking about her experiences, right? And then you become open. So then I'm just trying to show you something here, right? You have social media talking about experiences. Women are so vocal now than they've ever been before, right? They used to have Cosmopolitan Woman's Magazine back in the day that spoke about experiences, right? So now you are wondering why this girl has been almost seduced into an experience, because she has elevated the value of experiences. And the experience become bigger than even the individual. I just want to have an experience. That's the truth. So many women are chasing the experience.
That's good.
And you as a man don't know nothing about that. You don't have a clue. You are intimidated because you are thinking as a man the way you think about what you like, right? And you're not elevating what she's elevating. You would never even understand if your woman was unfaithful and the guy that she was unfaithful with, you thinking he gonna be a looker. Or he might have this incredible body, or he might be wealthy and rich. Yeah, he's got some shoulders. He was just a guy on the job and provided an experience. How does that happen? How does it happen that your woman finds a way to have an experience with somebody? I said experience. How does that happen? Well, I told you this is about to be a special class. I'm going to share with you how it happens. First of all, can you do something about it? A lot of men will say today, for the modern woman, no. I say, absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. Dre, some women are just that way. Well, that's just like me saying some men are just that way. How do you prevent a situation from happening? First of all, you got to handle your business. That's random, this word that wifey, Queen Nile always said is random. That sound random, but it's on purpose that I said that you got to handle your business. And a lot of that happens because you didn't handle your business. Well, you know, I go to work and I do this, that, and the other, and provide, put food on the table. Do you get up and tell her, "Boy, you fine. Oh, you so sexy. You do it for me." Do you touch her, play with her? Do you make her know that she does it for you? It's not do it for you when you take her to the bedroom. It's before the bedroom. It's called intimacy. Do you slap her on the butt? Right? Do you play hit with her? Love taps, what they call it. If you don't, she's not full. She becomes susceptible to the average, "Oh, you look nice today." The "oh, you look nice today" that a woman that has not been covered, if it could make any rise in her, that's a problem for you. There's no way in the world that your woman should have any rise in her from another man saying you look beautiful. That means you haven't been taking care of your business. What I started from the beginning. Because you didn't think it was that important. Because you said to yourself, "Man, I go to work, I provide for her. She should know I love her." That's how you as a man thinks. That's not how women think. It's something about a woman feeling appreciated and loved intimately. There is never a time, and I have 2 wives, that they don't know I dig them. I dig you. I love you. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them. They'll never leave my home not knowing how much I love them, care about them, and how much I think of them. It'll never happen. So then what? So now, if something does happen, guess what? It's not on me. They just chose that. It's not because they were deficient in anything, right? So it's like tying up all loose ends. Let it be about them. Don't let it be about you not handling your business, because you didn't understand what love does. You didn't understand it. You took it for granted. You thought love was just you taking care of the bills and keeping the roof over the house. And then she goes out, minding her business. She didn't go out there to try to look for nobody. But it sure felt good when dude said, "You look beautiful today." It sure felt good to her. Ain't no way in the world any one of my wives gonna go anywhere and any man could say anything to them that's gonna make them feel good, like they ain't never heard it before, like they're destitute of knowing how a man feels about them, their man. You better handle your business. Handle your business, because you're not. Remember, I'm a man from the streets that had 6 to 8 women of all nationalities at one time living in one mansion. I know what I'm talking about. And then I got to deal with professionals trying to get women. Pimps, professionals at getting women. That's what I was up against. So I know that my woman needs to feel full about how I think about her. And I made sure I made it my business on purpose to let them know what they meant to me. See, let me tell you this from a game perspective, because a lot of you guys are not in it, but I could give you this perspective so that you could see in your natural world, right? If at this extreme place of being in the streets with multiple women, dealing with other pimps, trying to get your girl, if in this extreme place where it's all pressure, I operated like this, how much more easier should it be for you to operate like that in your normal life? Right? I'm in an extreme place where men are polished, not like the little pimp guys you guys think. No, I'm talking about men that are polished, like me, articulate, well dressed, class. I'm not talking about the other little tennis shoe pimp guys, right? I'm talking about dudes that have some polish on them. I said they were professionals at getting women, professionals, right? So what I realized is that whenever I got into a jam, how do you get into a problem on the streets doing what I was doing? A girl has to turn on you in order for that to happen. I seen one of the most deficient things within this lifestyle, and that I would tell some of my other friends, that's a problem. One of the most deficient things is the lack of love. Now, remember, I'm not thinking about it how you was thinking about it. I already laid down what love was to me. So, Snoop and rappers, we don't love no working girls. You know the word. So now it becomes this modern day idea, right? That we don't love. And I do the very opposite. I love those things, right? I love with what I said, transparency, honesty, truth, all these things that I'm understanding, patience, all these things is what I operated in this lifestyle. Other guys did not believe in that. And other guys have gotten into situations like I got into, and they never got back. They never got back. I had a situation where somebody came and they convinced her to say some things against me. It is very, very public. Very, very public. So you guys know it because if you guys have seen the documentary by the Hughes Brothers, American Pimp, I got into a situation with a girl who was young. And I didn't know it. And the evidence came out later from her own lips at the news, on the national news, right? That she lied to me. They because I was doing police accountability and they were trying to use my past going somewhere. And this girl came out and says, I'm not about to allow them to do that to him when it was my fault. And she came to the news and told the news on television, this is how it went. This is what the situation is. And the reason why I'm speaking up, because I'm not going to allow you guys to attack him for something that I did. That's exactly what she said. And it was not true. I met him, I lied to him, and that was the truth. He did not know. Right? And I hadn't seen her for a long time. She's 38 years old, coming to tell her story. Right? Do you think she would have said that and came and did that with somebody that did not love her? What could compel a person to do that? How about if I just treated her like nothing? Just something to use, just something to get me money. There's never been a woman that I've ever treated like that. Even in that seedy world that my mom comes from, that my father comes from. But I didn't have that experience. So there was never, even in that extreme of a lifestyle, I showed love, and it was the love that came back and showed me.
It's just like you say, people can forget what you said to them, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
How you made them feel.
Mhm.
And there's never been a situation that love did not win over, because you males think love is weak. You think it's weak. And the fact that you think it's weak makes you weak. You could never maintain what I maintain. Not now, and not when I was in the lifestyle. Because I was King Kong in the lifestyle, if I want to pop my collar for a minute. Like I said, there are guys that had done great things in the life. Some owned the 70s, some owned the 80s. I owned the 90s. Some owned the 2000s, 2010s, and up. I owned the 90s. And I have the receipts to prove it. I lived in mansion. I had 68 women of all nationalities. But I'm telling you, more than any of that, how I presented myself to each one of those women that decided to be with me. I did a documentary, Master of the Game, back in 2002. Women who had been with me prior. Dove and I was married in 1998. They still came to participate in that documentary. Ask, we're talking about that seedy world. There are not many from that seedy lifetime, that world, that could have ex-women that were with them come and speak well on their behalf. In American Pimp, I remember Father Fillmore Slim said they used to take pride in saying, we send one to the crazy house and one to jail. Like that was the thing. Oh yeah, man, we sent one to the crazy house and one to jail. Right? But I didn't learn that. Why? Maybe because my mom was a part of that. Maybe because my mother loved me. Maybe because my father loved me. Maybe because I didn't have a point of reference of usury. And I didn't come in there without a point of reference of growing up in a lifestyle whose mom participated in those streets. So maybe I just didn't view somebody as something to use. But like I say, I've known people that did not have love, many, and they never got back. I went to trial in 2000, came home in 2001. I went to federal trial. Federal trial. They always say, don't take the feds to trial. They will mop you. They'll give you an extreme amount of time. I said, I went to federal trial, got found guilty, 7 charges, came home in 2001. That was that love. The system didn't know it, but the pendulum of life knew it. So I am so energized about the power of love. I show it in my everyday life, and it's never weakened me. It's always made me stronger. So when I asked Naya, in your past, I know she loves me the way that I explained, but I wanted to separate something from her mind and her psyche. I'm so cold with it. Listen, man, I said, I am the master of the game. That's what my documentary is called, Master of the Game. I'm so cold with it. I could take the ashes of a past relationship and make the ashes like they never existed. They're already ashes. When a woman stands before me, whoever she was with before becomes ash. But I can make the ashes non-existent. So I took her back to her yesterday and said, I want you to examine that. Because I don't want her to think that that's what love was. I wanted to free her from that. I wanted to complete her in me. Did you love anybody before? And she thought, yeah. I said, with all that you did, were you faithful to any one of them? It wasn't like a whole bunch of people. She was a teenager. Not that teenagers don't get busy, but I'm just saying. Right? Well, I thought I loved such and such. But considering that I was not loyal to that guy, teenager stuff, knowing what love is now, I didn't love nobody. And then she expanded it. I got to see if my family loved me. Once you start getting the idea, you know what I'm saying? Let me just really analyze this because it's freeing. It's liberating. Not only is it liberating to you, it empowers you. So when you really say the word, you really know what it means. So 4 things. I was like, why you think you couldn't stop yourself from doing the things that you were doing as a teenager? It's the experiences, right? Why do you think you're so empowered now? I said, there's 4 things. There's 4 things why you are powerful, why you present the way you present, why you are free, and why you have the ability not to do the things that you couldn't stop yourself from doing before. Why experience means nothing to you. 4 things. I sent it to you, Dove.
One was purpose.
No, give it to me.
Give it to you.
That's not the first one.
Give it to me.
Don't go out of order.
Okay, don't go out of order.
Okay, you ready? 4 things. First thing, not religiously, okay? This is not Christian doctrine and religious stuff, all this. But this is the most important, God. That is so broad. I even hate saying the word God because you can make a rock God. It's like so insulting to me to say the word God. So I like saying Yahweh, the name of the Israelite God, right? And I'm going to break it down to you. These are the 4 things. Yahweh. The second thing is from Yahweh what comes. I told her your introduction to Yahweh first brought you something. The information, but what was the information? What was the information?
Culture.
The culture. The culture taught you who you were not, why you were involved in what you were doing, that it was a script, that you were indoctrinated. I mean, all the information begins to tell you why you were in the condition that you found yourself in and who you are for real and not what society has told you, sold you, indoctrinated you to be. God, culture, and from culture came position. Listen to me, I'm going to bring them all down. God brought culture, your culture of letting you know who you are and who you are not, why things happen the way they happen. Why were our people susceptible to being conquered? Why are we in the condition that we are in? And what can we do about it? That you can do something about it. Right? And when you realize all of the answers and you get all of the answers, then you have position. Because now you look at yourself as the seed of Abraham. And you identify yourself differently in the world. That's your position. And position brings what?
Purpose.
Purpose. Position brings purpose. right? Your purpose could be, I'm a wife now. I have to invest in my husband. I have to invest in what we're building. I have to invest in raising this boy to be the greatness that he is. You have purpose. If you don't have these 4 things, you're susceptible to the experience. You're susceptible to the experience. Why? Because you're not full. But with God, culture, position, and purpose, you are full, complete, vibrant, powerful, strong, and somebody. And somebody who's not even interested in anything outside of your purpose. You see how that works? 4 things. Because the people in the indoctrination do not have those 4 things. They are not full. They are dang near susceptible to anything. So when you're saying, I asked earlier, can you keep your or women from being unfaithful? And I explained to you why that happens. I explained to you why that happens and why it does not happen with those 4 things. Are you handling your business? I want you to start looking at love the way I explained it, as power instead of weakness, the way you've thought about love. Because the way you thought about love is not love. The way you thought about it is weakness. The way you thought about love is weakness, okay? You see, that was love. I'm going to stop everything and make sure this one is all right. Right? Intimacy is not sex. Intimacy is not sex. What do you think intimacy is? Anybody in the chat, what is intimacy? And why do women always talk about it? What does the chat say intimacy is?
Cuddle, me, talk.
That's not intimacy.
I know what they gonna say.
What is intimacy, chat? Anybody back here?
Playful banter.
What is intimacy? What is intimacy? What is intimacy?
Details. Her details.
You guys are trying to get it?
The feeling of being desired.
No. Intimacy. Watch how I turn the corner on you guys. Look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful what I'm about to tell you is. Intimacy is noticing.
Yeah, see, I said that. I said details.
I said paying attention. You said details.
No, noticing is not details. It's noticing. Look up the both of them. It's noticing, right? Because from noticing comes details, but the noticing is the primary. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because noticing is so broad. Why my woman can do this? Because you don't notice her.
That's cool.
You don't notice her. I notice. I can notice when a shift in the atmosphere changes. I'm gonna be like, y'all right?
Mhm. That's right. That's right.
How you doing? You okay, Doug?
Mhm.
Noticing,
That's heavy.
right? I can notice a shift in body chemistry when somebody got new cologne or perfume on. I can say I don't like that or I like that, but I'm noticing. That's intimacy. I'm noticing a fit. Girl, where you get that outfit from? See, look, you feel what I'm saying?
You try not to wear it for a long time, so you can say you had it for a while. We don't know you've been shopping.
You see what I'm saying?
I had this for a long time.
You see? And noticing, you know? And then noticing, watch this, brothers. The scripture says a word fitly spoken. Noticing when you just need to say, come here, baby, let's talk.
That's right.
Boy, that's beautiful. Baby, yeah, come here, let's talk. Do you do that to your woman? Do you just say, baby, come here, let me talk to you? Let me talk to you. Do you feel the intimacy in that? See how beautiful that is? Let me talk to you. What's going on, baby? Right? Because my wives are sharp. They know I know. They know I know. They sharp. Right? And it's my job to have the capacity. I was talking to the brothers earlier and I said capacity. I said, do you know what capacity is? Chat, do you know what capacity is? Having the capacity. Let me see what you guys say. The brothers know because I already told them earlier. Having the capacity. It's like people see me with 2 wives or maybe 8 women before, and you don't got the capacity to govern over that. What does the chat say? Anybody got, and not when you go look up in the dictionary. But I mean, the dictionary will have some significant things, but we're going to go deeper. Nobody in the chat? No? Huh? Capacity? Brothers that was not here, do you know capacity is? Or sisters, because you guys weren't in the conversation earlier. Capacity.
Being able to contain.
Somebody in the chat said what you can handle.
That's pretty broad.
Another person says it means you have the knowledge.
The knowledge to do what?
Someone says unlimited potential, ability to handle, the land you can govern over. Someone says room to give.
Capacity. What is capacity? You guys remember what I said? Huh? I said two things. I said 2 things. Who remember what I said earlier? Why?
I didn't hear.
No, you didn't hear. Knowing what the problem is and having the what to fix it. The knowledge to fix it. That's capacity. Knowing what the problem is and then having the ability to fix it. The knowledge, or the person said earlier, the knowledge. That's capacity, right? So when I say, come here, baby, let me talk to you, they're sitting down amongst capacity. It's not a small space. And the environment that I create when I say, let me talk to you, is a safe environment because I got the answers. That whatever you could be going through, I got the solution for it. I'm going to always have the solution for it. Can you imagine being in an environment as a woman with a man like that? I'm not campaigning. I'm not taking no other wives right now. I'm just saying. I can't tell what God's saying with that. But I'm saying, can you imagine being in a space with a man that has capacity? Well, let me just ask my wives, how does it feel? Starting with Naya.
It feels relieving, you know, knowing that you have the capacity to
What you need, Nasha?
oh.
Which one? Oh,
Nausea.
hey, 1 second. Yeah, babe. Somebody feel nauseous. And we got the capacity, the remedy to fix the problem. In real time, as a fam bam. Okay, babe. Go ahead, finish, babe. Hey, son.
Naya.
Hmm?
Thank you, Naya.
So what does it feel like being able to know that you're in that space where your husband has capacity to solve whatever the issues that you're having are?
Yeah, it's relieving because, you know, as we know, people don't have the capacity to do that, you know. It's just like earlier, for an example, you know, being able to go through those things and really, really get deep in the crevices of, you know, old situations, you know, ways that I have operated in before, you know, and to break down the why. And, you know, just knowing that there's no problem that you can't solve, right? And so it's like a, you know, knowing that I have somebody who understands me, right? And, you know, that truly understands me, you know.
Is that intimate?
It is intimate, you know, because it's like, you know everything. As far as I feel like there's nothing that you don't know, right?
That's what
like
she
you were
was saying the
saying.
other day. She was like, I listening to you. Like, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, backstory. I was saying that when I first came to the information, and I'd be watching classes, and I'd be like, it's like there's nothing that he don't know. It seems like you just know everything, right? But you know, it's just like you were saying, if noticing that something is off, just noticing every little detail, right? And you know, it really makes me feel complete, knowing that I have a man that has the capacity to build me and make me complete, you know?
So a woman might be saying out there, especially the modern woman, that you don't need a man, or, you know, you can do it by yourself. What do you mean build yourself and all this? She don't got the kind of man that you probably have entertained. She has a man that has defeated the streets, defeated politics, defeated the legal system, defeated the idea of understanding women, and defeated himself with receipts. A man that have had presidents call because of my work. A man that goes around the country with conferences, speaking into men and women's lives. A man that have led this country in police accountability, changed laws. So you need to understand the point of reference from what this woman is talking about, right? So building into greatness of a husband that is an accomplished person in the world and not trying to figure it out, but have the receipts of conquering white systems, empowering our people, doing things for the community, having conferences where I'm bringing Black professionals from all over the country, from Judge Joe Brown and Reza Islam and Tamika Mallory and Nuri Muhammad and Dr. George Frazier and many more from all over the country, bringing everybody together. We're not talking about the average guy in the ghetto who's sagging. We're talking about an accomplished man and a woman who's sharp enough to be able to see, I want to be in the presence of a man that has that kind of capacity. Teach me what you know. Build me into the greatness that you have achieved. I'm here to submit to this information in order to get it. See, that's what you don't understand. So don't get her twisted. How does it feel being for almost 30 years? That's why I saved you for last.
Well, I always go back to a long time ago, we did a video and you asked me a question in that video. I can't remember what it was, but I said in the video that I thought I knew what I wanted in a man because, in the indoctrination, our minds can run rampant on what we think we want. We can conjure up the most phenomenal wants in the world of what we want out of a person, and that goes for a man and a woman and a woman and a man. But what I said back then, I can't remember what year that was. We might have been married maybe 5-7 years or something like that. I said, not only did the Most High give me what I wanted, but he definitely gave me what I needed. Because see, what we never think about is what we need, because we don't feel like we need anything. It's always want, want, want. So when you came, I knew that there was so much that I was lacking. And when you want to go back to the very topic and talk about love, then I understood what love was, because I never had honesty. I never had support. There was never clarity in my relationships. There was never information. There was never intimacy. All those things lacked. So being able to have that from the gate is why I was able to give you everything. So even back then, I knew that, that I had a whole bunch of wants of what I wanted my life to look like. But when the Most High brought you, he brought me everything that I needed, that I didn't know I needed, that I didn't even know existed, right? I never knew that people could literally be honest with each other. And like we were saying earlier, I didn't know what love is. I thought I knew what love was, right? I thought I loved, right? If you would have asked me that question, I would have been like, that's a trick question. So I would have been like, yeah, I love them. You know what I'm saying? But then, like I said, from the conversation before, I know that I didn't, so I know that I didn't love. I love the idea of love or wanting to be in love, but it just didn't exist. And then when you get the information of when the Most High brings you what you need, right? And that's why it's so important. I mean, I don't even think it's important. I think when an individual runs into somebody with this information, they right off the bat, just like I did with zero information, they will right off the bat know that this person is special. This person is extraordinary and out of the ordinary. And they will know right off the bat that, yes. And I'm pretty sure the remnant men have ran into that. I know a lot of the remnant men have ran into that in their life with this information, because women just don't see it these days. So it's like, for me, the building had already started when we first met, right? The changing of my life had already started from the gate, you know, from being that bitter, angry person to just being able to tell me one thing to do in my life as I'm out in the world. And it literally changed my life, because I thought my life would stay like that forever. I thought that I would never be able to go anywhere and have peace, you know, and not be getting into it with people and arguing or cussing, going back and forth, and just that anger, and not knowing that the control of that resided within me, that I had the control, and I didn't know that I was giving my power and control away to everybody outside of me. And so it started with me. And right then I knew, like, nobody has ever cared or loved me enough or had the information to help me help myself. So I think that was the very beginning. And that was right in the first week we were talking. So, I mean, well, the second week when you came over, but you know, that was within the second week that we were talking. So I already heard you. So within the second week, it was like the first week we talked, you were already building me, because the information, and you already know that we were sharing, it was honesty, right? So then the second week was you helping me help myself. So it was like going and operating in that and seeing that work, and seeing that you cared enough to give me some information to help myself is something that I've never experienced. So just knowing that, I knew that I couldn't trust my life with that being built. It goes without saying, because I knew that you had the information to create, to build, to teach me structure and all those things too. And even knowing your history with their past exes and stuff. So, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, I knew the woman that I could become, just like you knew the woman that you could create when you met me.
That's powerful, because I think that resonates, because I know Naya said the same thing. I knew what I could become because she saw you. She looked at you, right? And she wanted that for herself. So she was operating in faith. I think it's, but I want to ask, you didn't answer my question.
I didn't?
You didn't. I said, what does it feel like being with a man that has capacity?
It feels like what it looks like. It feels like what it looks like.
Okay, all right. The slick mouth.
Yeah.
He's so sharp like this game.
Right?
Give us an explanation.
Gotta be sharp like this game or something.
It feels like what we just talked about. Knowing that I could be honest. Knowing that I'm being supported. Not just building. We've been together almost 30 years. It's built. It doesn't stop. It continues, because, you know, there's things we're ever learning in the Most High. But
am I hard on you?
Yeah.
That's the first thing you said real fast.
Yeah. That's why I be hard on everybody else. I always say I give it how I get it.
Yeah, you give it like how you got it.
I give it like how I got it, and I still get it. You know, but I understand the
hard?
expectation.
What's hard? What do you think? How I'm hard on you?
I don't think it's hard. I just know that for people who think that just because you've had 28 years, it gets easier, it does not, because
what gets easier?
Situations and circumstances or just life, because there may be some things that the Most High wants to allow you to experience to take you to other levels, where in the indoctrination we've told ourselves, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to go through that, I don't want to experience that, or this is how I want my life to be. Right? So coming out of the indoctrination and allowing the Most High to mold, but also having a husband to help you get there, I think first of all is the blessing, right? Because we talked about this the other day. Had I not had you, every step of the way, I would not be here. I would still be in the indoctrination, probably dead, whatever, right? But it is necessary, right? I appreciate it. It's necessary. It is hard sometimes, because we all can have a tendency to feel like we've arrived or we don't have to work no more. You know, there's no more work to do. I got everything I want. And even if you don't have everything you want or you need, after 30 years, you could feel like I'm good. Or, you know, what more is there? Right? Which we know with the promises, there's a lot more, but we know there's also levels to this. So there's also information that applies to each level that you may not have at the current present time, right? So just going through the learning, because I've learned every step of the way, and we had a class on the struggle, right? You're gonna struggle, but putting the Most High's promises before that is what's gonna keep you on top of the struggle, right? So I just know that the benefit for me is being able to have you every step of the way, knowing that, yeah, it might be hard sometimes, right? But watching you go through things encourages me, even though it could be hard sometimes. Sometimes we just want to let ourselves have some feelings, right? But we can't afford that because those feelings make you stop. So then you have to stop, and then you have to put those promises in front of them feelings.
But people might not understand what you just said. Sometimes we want to just let ourselves have some feelings, and people are probably out there saying, "Well, you're human."
Well, feelings is the indoctrinations. Feelings is saying that you don't believe. Feelings is saying that you don't have faith enough in the Most High to either get to the next level. The Most High said He won't put more on you than you could bear. Either you believe Him or you don't. So as you're going through, if you have somebody that showed up in his life, which my husband has, showed up in so many different areas where somebody could say they've struggled, and then you look at yourself and you ain't had a struggle nowhere near that, and you know how he operated in that, then there's no way in the world that whatever you going through, you could be having feelings, right? But they can still pop up, because it could be a new area that the Most High is allowing you to experience, especially with getting our culture back, right? We could talk about many different things, like coming up through these 28 years, it's been a lot of indoctrination that has been had to get up out of me, you know, that using the relief doctrine, which is the word, which is our culture book, which you guys call the Bible, that information and the downloads that the Holy Ghost gives for us, if you go into classes, you would understand that this information transforms. And when we say transforms, it brings clarity and the answers to the problems that you guys in the indoctrination have. So over here, we actually have something to fight with. We don't just say, you guys call him Jesus, we call him Yahweh Shai. We don't say you just love him and everything is going to be okay. You got work to do, right? And that work is consistent. It's consistency. You can't just say, you know, oh, I'm smoking cigarettes, or I'm doing this, or I'm lying and I'm cheating, but I ain't going to do that no more, if you don't have nobody to be up under to say, I'm not going to do it for. It can't be that man or that woman. You got to have somebody more important than that holds you accountable, right? So that's what I have. I have the Most High and I have my husband. So the beauty of it, and like Naya and we say, is that we know he sees everything. So if we have a shift in our feelings or a shift in our physical, you know, whatever we doing, disposition, then he gonna know right away, right? He gonna know right away in the way you react, respond, whatever it is, and then he gonna be on top of it. And then, you know, you can talk about it. You don't have to lie. You don't have to say, oh, whatever, nothing, I'm gonna be okay. Because that's the indoctrination. That's you trying to hold on to the indoctrination and not wanting to grow, right? So being and you're not even being forced to grow. It's something that you're gonna have to want, right? And the thing about the indoctrination is you have to fight so hard, because the mind and your body wants the indoctrination. You have to want this information more, like I said, so you cannot want to be that indoctrinated person, right? And and like I said, if I hadn't had him this whole time, like the remnant has him and you guys have him out there, if you get in these classes, you guys have that right now. It's necessary. It's just like when you go to school. or you going to see a psychiatrist or something, or you going to do all these things. You need that constant, consistent information or somebody right there with you so that you can continue to grow. That's why we say it's important to have the receipts. Because if you don't have nobody with the receipts, if you don't have nobody who stood, if you don't have nobody who said, he ain't even got to say, well, I did this, you could do it, because I already know. So it holds me accountable, right? It holds me accountable. If he comes and talk to me, he don't even have to say that. He'll give me some word or give me some information, and then I'll be like, you right, you know, and then I'm up and I'm operating. But a lot of the information I'm operating in, but new things will always come to test and see if you're going to continue to put this information ahead of what the world wants you to feel. Right? What you're used to putting in front, which is your feelings and your emotions. It's always gonna happen. It could be on a job, it could be with a man, it could be with a woman, it could be with your family. And it's the information is gonna say, do you believe me, or are you gonna go back to the indoctrination and allow yourself to let people make you be like them? Right? So I have that, you know, the beauty of what I have is that I don't have to worry about that. You know, I know that I'll always have, it's not like I want to be in my feelings, but I know that I'll always have a man who, if he does see something, he's going to make sure he's on top of me, because one thing he does know is that I don't want to be like that. If you don't have that in you, if you do not have, I do not want this indoctrination inside of me, you won't make it. It's got to be something that you want better than anything on this earth and anywhere. You got to want this information, because if you don't want it, you will not make it. And the Most High knows that I don't want any bit of indoctrination or anything inside of me, period. So things will show up, but you know, it's still going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight of what do you want? How do you want to be in your life? Do you want to be that indoctrinated person, or do you want to have this information? Because the things that we are taught in this world and in the indoctrination is governed by the God of this world, which is Satan. So I don't want no parts of it. And I have a man and a husband that has been through enough for him to be able to hold me accountable, and for me to also hold myself accountable, which is important. Because when the day is over, just say my husband is not here no more. Does that mean I'm not standing anymore? You have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to learn to operate in this information, because you could not have it. You could have it one day and not have it the next, because we're all accountable for self. But he just so happens to be my husband, and I'm his accountability.
That was beautiful, honey. That makes sense. Let me ask Nye the same question. Am I hard on you?
Yes.
You
are.
Explain it.
You know, but
Yes, right.
I would say yes, but at the same time, I know why, of course, you know, knowing everything that you've been through, you know, all the different lives you lived, and all that you've accomplished, right? So, you know, and it's just like you were saying, I mean, the man that you are, how much more your wife, I mean, having to be accountable and showing up in a bigness just like you, right? Being a giant just like you know, so really just pushing me to be just like you, right? To be just like that. And what I would say is like, you're hard on me, but you know, with me having the information and me knowing, it's like at times, the way I could put it is like me making it hard for myself, right? If I'm knowing how I should be operating, right? if I'm knowing the husband that I have, knowing that, okay, if he sees the shift, if he sees this and that, because 9 times out of 10, I already know what that shift is. If those feelings come, I know what those feelings are, and I know how to get on top of that, right? And although, yes, when you see something, you do correct it, right? But it should also take for me to first correct those things, you know? So it's, so yeah, so when I say me making it hard on myself is at times, having to get that when it doesn't have to get to that point of that hard, like, that when that lion come out, you know.
But it's just like you
And,
said, which
yeah.
was so powerful that time when you said, I know the facts,
Exactly.
which was a beautiful word in how to put how you
Mhm.
know your husband. Like, I know the facts about this man. Like,
Exactly.
there, you know,
Exactly.
like, and before the thing is though, while Naya was saying that, it's like you could know the facts, but you still have to put the facts before everything else, before it even gets to the feelings, which sometimes could be a struggle, right?
Right.
And it's going to happen sometimes, right? It's not going to be perfect. You have to get perfect. You have to practice to be perfect, right? And so that was, I love when you said that, because that was fire when you said, I know the facts. So then you like, because I know the facts, but you still have to put the facts in front of what you know, because it's the knowing.
Right.
Knowing is the facts. So it's just like with the Most High. We know him, we know the facts. We got to put that in front of. The beautiful thing is we have that to put in front of it.
Exactly.
Right? So we need to be like, before you even get there, that's what the Most High be trying to teach us. Put the facts in front of everything else you've been taught.
Because once you have the facts,
Right.
you don't have to question.
You don't have to.
anything
You don't
else.
question.
But exactly.
Right.
You don't question when
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
Right. And you have the facts, because it's like once you know something, it's like, but if it comes down to anything else, oh, you can't tell me about this, and that,
Right.
because I have the facts of this,
Right.
and I know this.
Right. Right.
So it's even when it comes to those feelings, you know, unless you want to sit in those feelings and take that, you know, then that creates something else.
Because
But
that's
once
what
we
you
have the
wanted,
facts,
huh?
You know, exactly.
Yep.
You wanted that.
You wanted
You
that.
know, and you wanted to be in a place of, well, let me question this, and that, you know. But yeah, once you have that, it's
right.
Yeah, that should be at the
We
front
be
of your
trying
mind.
to change the facts.
Right.
We be trying to change the facts.
Y'all, I'm somewhere else.
You
Yeah.
can't even.
I don't even
Can't
want to
even
say
change the
I don't even want to
facts.
say the word climax, but I'm having a
Oh,
wonderful
wow.
time just watching these people like this. I am
These
like,
people.
will you
These
know,
wives in here.
I am like, woo!
Yeah.
I'm just watching them talk back and forth, and I'm like, you see, I am like having the best time of my life right now, just seeing that back and forth. Them as my wives, but just like, yeah, yeah.
Oh God.
You know, because
You know the facts about this game.
because they interact and stuff at the house, but it's just like this here though. It's like this is be another level, right? So to see that for a husband that has more than one woman, it's bliss. To be able to see that operating and going back and there with this information of the knowing, it's powerful. Yeah, I can go ahead and stop now. No, but let me go back to the back and see if anybody got anything to say.
He said, reach me that night.
Man. Well, you know, wife, you know, as gorgeous as you look tonight, I have to ask you, how do you feel about the capacity within me in our household?
She said, okay.
Hey, did you see how Keith started?
Yeah.
As gorgeous as he went right into the information. Huh? He went right to the information.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Like both of the beautiful ladies up here were saying, like it does give me that relief. It gives me that peace, and knowing like how you show up like consistently every day to me. Like even like the little details of you noticing and recognizing, like, you notice not only the good, but the bad, the ugly, and that helps me get on top of that myself because, we know to our God, we're supposed to be unblemished before him. So just for you to even like recognize, where maybe I could be stuck in my delay, but you don't want me there. That's love. You want me to be as perfect as you before our God. So I love that. And just the way that you do have that capacity and that love for me, that makes me want to go like even harder for you. It's not like I'm going out into the world like looking for anything. Like, we good over here. We like overly good.
That's right.
So, and just knowing who I am, right, and who you are and who we are to our God too. So that's
I
how I
love
feel.
it.
Did I answer your question?
I love it.
Definitely did. Yeah, I want to touch. That was beautiful. I love that. Oh wow. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful up around
That's
here.
right. That's right.
But what I was thinking a little bit about, just how that deception in the world, especially growing up and getting into relationships and dealing with, just dealing with women and stuff like that. It's that depiction of it's like you got to be tough or something when you dealing with a woman, and it's like you got to be hard on her. I used to hear that a lot growing up, like you need to be hard on them, you know what I'm saying? And it has you operating a certain way towards women, like treating them a certain way, and it's not cool, you know what I'm saying? Not to be operating like that. It's not really cool. And once you realize and get into the information and knowing that the love that you bring, the empowerment of that, the scripture says that love conquers all, you know what I'm saying? So just being able to operate in that and know the power that brings within your relationship with your wife, you know what I'm saying?
Let
And
me stop you
I
there
was
for a
about to
minute.
say, especially when you know what love is.
Yeah, but let me stop you there because you said something earlier that we need to clarify. Because I just said how hard I am on them. And then you said that guys such and such, they said you got to be hard on a woman. So those are two different things. See, guys in the streets say you got to be hard on a woman to make them accept your foolishness.
Yeah.
Hard in the culture is being accountable to righteousness, to love, to transparency, to truth. So let's just clarify that.
Absolutely.
This is what how hard I am is about the righteousness and about greatness and living in your excellence, and so but guys in the street be hard on her because they acted a certain kind of way and they want a woman to submit and accept how they acted. Right? You just push that hard line with them. It ain't about operating in any integrity because they don't operate in any integrity. But they want you to be a certain kind of way regardless of how they showing up. That's what guys be meaning, be hard on her.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they mean. Yeah. So that's what I meant by that when I say hard on them, within the indoctrination, the way that is over there, but over in the culture, when we seeing a spirit arise, you know what I'm saying, within our wife, we got to bring that correction. And that's why it may seem like, that's why we be hard on them in this information.
Exactly.
Because of that, I got to bring this correction, whether you liking it or not, whether you got the clarity, whether you have the understanding. Now I'm going to give you the clarity of it, but you can feel how you want to feel about it. But long as I brought that clarity, long as I'm continuing to wash you within the word, I know what I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, we're going to be on the side of the truth, however it goes.
Absolutely.
We just want you to be.
Yeah,
so that's and I'm going to go hard for the truth.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Yeah.
This took me a lot of places. I had a good short conversation with Unc earlier. Well, it wasn't short, but shorter.
It wasn't short.
He ain't short.
Everybody in this room. Everybody in this room.
Let me just clarify. Let me just clarify, right?
Short.
Everybody knows.
I had a conversation with Unc for about an hour earlier. In comparison to some of our other conversations, that's short. We didn't talk for 5, 6, 7 hours before. And so, um, and so it's definitely the Holy Ghost, because I was reading, I was asking them about where to find a scripture at, Esdras, right? Because it's in the Apocrypha and I couldn't pull it up, but I was looking at it for a different reason. But a part of it that I read in there was in First Esdras, First Esdras. Um, let's go to 19. Let's go to 20, right? And it talks about 25. It talks about a man loves his wife more than his father or his mother. Many men lost their minds because of women and have become slaves because of them. Many have perished or stumbled or sinned because of women. But right before that, it talks about how much a man loves a woman, how he leaves his parents and attaches himself, cleaves to his woman. This is speaking about a different kind of man. Key was just talking about those guys out there that's hardening their woman to make them accept their foolishness. Then you got those males out there that be lost, right? They don't have that foundational information that that comes with the culture, and so they find themselves being a slave to the indoctrination of today to be pleasing to that woman in every capacity. And when it doesn't work out for them because he didn't have the capacity to fill her up continuously, like we talked about here in class, now he done lost his mind, right? When she is moved by a what? What was she moved?
Experience.
She moved by an experience. She's moved by a, you look beautiful today. He's ready to crash out. We see it all the time. All the time. Not just on the woman. He crashed out on her, the kids, himself, everybody getting it. The other man getting it. The one that told her to smile, it's going to be all right. It's all bad for everyone. So it says here specifically many men, not all men. And so there's a lot of guys out there in the world, like Uncle was saying, they think because they provide and they go to work and some of them, provide big, huge, beautiful homes and cars and all that stuff for a woman. And her life on paper looks amazing. But within the walls of the home, it's a different story. And not just within the walls of the home, but within the walls of her heart, it's a different story. Because the value's been misplaced on purpose through the indoctrination to get us away from where we at now. After the 400-year curse, we will begin to remember who we are in the land of our oppressor. And that's where we at now. See, we all have had experiences. I myself have greatly had experiences, and I've contributed to the tearing down and breaking down of women all throughout my life, right? But to come into the space and knowing the full authority and power that comes with having that deep-rooted love for your God and that accountability to your God and loving him the way that he requires us to love him and not how you feel like you should love him gives you a different outlook on how you deal with your woman, right? One of the things that we were talking about earlier took me back to Colossians 3:19. I'm gonna read 18 first because this is the part that most men like to hear, especially in the world. It says, "Wives, be subject to your husbands out of respect for their position as protector and their accountability to God as is proper and fitting to the Lord." Right? They love that wives be subject to your husbands, right? But they don't want to take on the accountability of what comes next. It says, "Husbands, love your wives with an affectionate, sympathetic, selfless love that always seeks the best for them. And do not be embittered or resentful towards them because of their responsibilities of the marriage." That's important because a lot of males out there today, through that feeling like they provide, and they do, right? They work and labor and give her everything that she wants. If she might be moved by that hello or you're beautiful or those shoulders, right? Through that, they become embittered, right? Because they neglected their responsibility within the marriage. She's looking at her love language, and there's so many different languages out there they talk about these days. Some people say my love language is food, right? Some people say my love language is shopping or long talks, and all that's cool and everything. But when you really get down to the bottom of it, if your love language is food, that's a problem.
Mm.
Because somebody could be a great cook and a horrible man. Horrible man. Whip it up in that kitchen and have you nice and plump around here.
You were toxic.
You know, you know, they could take you on all the shopping sprees of your life, right? Somebody could be a great orator, which our people have been subject to for many centuries now. And that's all it takes. They're not even looking for the man anymore. Not even the slightest. Because they've been sold by the world and indoctrination that the love language is something external. And that's a problem. Because what if a man can't cook? Right? What if he doesn't always have the best words, but his actions are always showing up right on time where they're supposed to be, where the Most High requires him to be at? What if he can't? What if he can't get a piece of toast right, but he can pour into your life and fill you up like no other? Do you bypass the depth of love and the way that God intended it to be, looking for a man that can cook? Or do you start reaching back and taking the information and examining yourself to come to that space where you're knowing what love truly is? This is important, especially as we step in deeper and deeper, further and further into our original culture. See, these are original men and original women up here working things out and exercising things and having a beautiful display of my uncle and my aunt and my young aunt over there. My younger aunt. You know, TT Nye over there. You know, that's it. That's it right there. Yeah, you TT Nye in there.
Got that from greatness.
Great.
Naya.
You know, just understanding that in that capacity, so that men have to understand where the value lies at, and it doesn't lie in what the world has sold you, what you provide. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, going back over when it says that a wife is to be subject to her husband out of respect for their position as protector and their accountability to God. It says nothing about providing. But when a woman shows up in that capacity, it makes you want to give her the world. It makes you want to give her the world. And that part is nothing, because all of that comes with the territory of a man just handling his business. Why would I not want to give a woman the world that looks at me and views me and deals with me in a space that the Most High requires her to, and not in the space that the world is telling her to? That's what most people are missing out there.
But we have to also break down the fact that most men and women are not like that. And it has to be taught. Because I've had plenty of women say, why should I be like that to my husband is not your husband? And you are right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we tell you to get this information.
Get in class.
Get in class so you can have the information to get yourself a remnant man or a remnant woman, someone who operates like that. Or like I had, where I had it in my husband and I could see it and knew that I could allow myself to be taught. Because women feel like they know everything. They ain't trying to hear nothing from you. And they feel like everything is a game. I'm going to give you what you want and it's going to be over with, right? And with a remnant man, it's not like that. So we could sit up here and talk about what the Bible says we ought to be to each other, but we talking about remnant men and women. This is not just anybody. People out there in the indoctrination do not operate like this, and we already know that, right? So what we do need to remind people is that, no, your man might not be like this. You might not have seen a man like this, but they exist over here. So You know, if that's what you're looking for, somebody who takes accountability for themselves and will look for that in you and is able, and you're able to be teachable. It's like I said, it's one thing to tell somebody something, it's another thing to be able to see it and hear it, right? Because you could have told me in the indoctrination anything, and I'm gonna give you that look. Yeah, whatever, you know, just have the experience, like you said. Let's get it over with, right? Or whatever. Let's just have the experience, right? But like I said, when you meet a remnant man over here, you gonna know that you met a remnant man, right? And you gonna know that who he is, how he talks, what he stands for, and everything is gonna stick out to you. No, you right. That you don't have that. And it barely exists out there, but it exists over here. And it can be done because all of our men operate like that. So I just want to break that down because I know it's going to be people out there saying, I don't see that nowhere. I don't know that. I'm not about to be that to none of these men out here. I know you ain't. I know you ain't.
Ain't got no reason to.
Yeah, because I didn't either, you know, until I found that one that was that, you know. But you can get this information, whether you a man or a woman. Get into our classes. We give classes every single day of the week except for the dang weekends. You can be getting this information and building your own self up. If you're a woman, you don't have to have a man to give you this information. Get in these classes and you can get it. And then when you get it, you gonna know, look, with this information I have, I need a remnant man, right? If you a man and you want to get this information so that you can have this information to build up your woman, you might get in the remnant and find a woman just like that, and you ain't got a lot of building to do. Y'all growing together, right? But get in these classes because it's necessary, right? Because this information does not exist in the world right now. You gonna get this information right here. And we teach 5 days a week. And you need to be in these classes because this information brings clarity. You can go to anybody else's class out there. I don't care what it is. It could be another Christian preacher. It could be the red pill, manosphere, whatever everybody else is talking about out there. I guarantee you they're not giving you the information to elevate yourself, right? To bring virtue to yourself. All that information to teach you to clear that indoctrination up out of your head so you can live a beautiful life, a beautiful, powerful life that brings yourself value. Because you think value is what you have right now out there today. It's not, right? It's not. If you go look in our classes, you will find out that you don't know nothing until you get in these classes. And then you find out, this is what I want. This is what I need. Because it's going to help you in every area of your life, not just how to get a husband, you know, how to be, period, in your life. And you get in these classes and you're going to find out everything that's being talked about, you can have it, right? But it starts with you anyway, right? It does start with you, unless you just so happen to get with somebody that already has this information that can help you. You know what I'm saying?
That's good stuff.
And that's why getting that book, Guard the Man, is
Yeah,
extremely
Guard the
important.
Man.
It's equally as important for women as it is for men.
Yes, it is.
We read chapter 3 in the car. Well, I read it out loud in the car on the way here.
Mm.
And you know, going back over it, and yeah, I mean, if you on the fence about these classes, start there.
Yeah, we got
That's-
the audio book that's available on Google Play. It just came out. Just came out. The
If you know how to
audiobook.
listen.
Amazon, yeah, if Amazon, the book, but Google Play got you. You could just hear it and just go ahead and benefit, you know, because it's doing extremely well. Go get Guard the Man so you can know how valuable you are and why. And why, you know, you won't lend yourself to doing things that you feel like you ain't got no power to stop. Because you don't have God, you don't have culture, you don't have position, and you don't have purpose. And that's it.
Wow.
I ain't got no more to say.
You don't have
I'm gonna
God,
say
you don't
something.
have
Boss got something to
culture,
say.
you don't have position, you don't have purpose.
And without those things, you're
You're
susceptible.
nothing. You're just nothing.
You're susceptible.
I always say, when you nothing, nothing begets nothing.
I got all them things, and because I got all them things, I got 2 wives,
And everything.
I got children,
Yep.
and a whole bunch of fun.
Oh, God.
Right?
I'm dead.
Yeah.
Leave out the
The
fun.
moment you guys get comfortable with that religiosity, I'll put something on my storyline. You see me and Naya's storyline, my storyline with that nice massage yesterday. Soon as you guys get religious on me, I'm gonna give you real life.
Oh,
We was on the airplane. I got to share this. Me and my son was on the airplane this morning, and I'm halfway sleeping. He's on his iPad, and I look over. He looking at Uncle Dre's story, and and Naya and Tamim and Dre pop up, and he getting that massage, and Yuri gonna say, he sent him a message too. He gonna say they both getting special treatment. Oh, the people was looking at me crazy as heck on that plane. I woke up out my sleep
Because my
cracking
son
up.
was breastfeeding, and then Naya was giving me a massage at the same time, and she was like, a wife and a mom, real life.
wow.
All praises to the Most High. Real life going on. Well, represent the remnant everywhere you go. Those who are remnant.
Sure.
So go ahead, real quick. Close us out.
All right. I just wanted to say something just about the capacity part. I wanted the Karaya to say something too.
Okay, come on.
But just the capacity part, I guess I just was gonna say, just get in there and talk about just the importance of the information, because as the class going and whatnot, I'm thinking about how I didn't always have the capacity to do certain things, right? To understand a woman, to understand what would inspire her to operate and be her best, right? Towards her God first, of course, but then towards me as her husband, right? I'm just going over these things because I'm recognizing that as the class going and the things is being conveyed, understanding that these things have been conveyed to me, right? These things have been cemented and sealed into me, right? This process of how to bring this about, how to extract that excellence out of my wife has been delivered to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being grateful, right? As I'm hearing it and it's being conveyed, because I'm knowing what I came out of. You know what I'm saying? Just paying attention and stuff like that, right? Noticing, right? And it made me think of this story one time. Both of my children's mothers was sitting out in front of our house in Arizona, and they was talking, and this after I'd have been in the classes for a little while, and so I would always buy Halima flowers all the time. She loves flowers, right? So I would just always buy her flowers, and I think one day, I think we was at the park or something, and I bought some and I sat them on the counter, right? But when we got home, Corsaia went in the house and he grabbed the flowers and he ran them outside to Halima, right? And when he ran them outside to Halima, now Karian and mom ain't never experienced me like this, right? So when he ran the flowers outside to Halima, they mom was like, this dude ain't never bought me flowers. She like, this dude ain't never bought me flowers. So it's just, I'm just pointing out, it was funny in the moment when it happened, but it was sad too, right? It's like, it's devastating, right? Because of where I am now, right? And not ever knowing that I never will be, and not ever wanting to be, to create that type of life for somebody. You know what I'm saying? That type of devastation, or put somebody in that space where that's what they got to look forward to. in me, right? Somebody who's don't care about their details, who ain't interested and invested and intentional about understanding her and what she needs, right? And then the other part that was hitting for me is the purpose part, right? Because even now I find myself challenged, right, with different things, right? And it is my purpose, me knowing who I am to the Most High God, me knowing who I am to my family, that keep me checking those things that I'm challenged in. You know what I'm saying? Any way that them challenges may come up in me or find themselves trying to give me some type of struggle, it's always the purpose that I'm attached to, that keeps that allows that gives me the capacity to check those things and keep myself in order, right? And it's also knowing what comes from being in violation. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in a space where I've seen the consequences of being out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's me knowing what comes from being out of bounds, that now it's not just me when I'm operating in them convictions and I'm guarding the man, right? It's not just me guarding myself, it's me guarding my children, me guarding my woman, me guarding my culture. You know what I'm saying? It's broadened out. You know what I'm saying? I'm knowing that the way I look at it, if you stop guarding the man, not guarding the man is the same way the ancestors got into the condition that we in the first place.
right.
You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? Because there was something being elevated above those accountabilities that they had to manhood, to the Most High God, to our culture. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm guarding the man, those are all the things that I'm feeling indebted to. Right? I'm indebted to myself, to my God, to my culture, to my people. So the guard is around all of that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what I want to share. But I wanted to ask Cry a question. Right? Because you grow up with your daddy. So I wanted you to say, to just speak on your experience, because daddy be hard on you as a young lady. Right? So you can speak on that. I'll just sit back.
Not even gonna lie, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about it because I was like, now that my dad is really like, yeah.
Right.
Like now that my dad is really in this information and stuff, and always on top of himself and his business, always handling his business, making sure we got what we need and stuff like that. We never got to really experience him like that until now. Because like now he has values, and now he like, you know, is actually on top of himself, and you could tell because all of his kids are here with him.
Yes, crazy.
And
yes.
And we're all in the same household, and all well taken care of and things like that. So, but I also wanted to talk about something else too, because I was thinking of the experience part, and then I was also thinking of like teenage years, because my older cousin used to come to our house during summertime, so I would hear like her experiences and stuff, right? And I'm like having an open ear and stuff because I'm younger than her, and I'm like 12, about to go into 6th grade, so middle school. And middle school is full of experiences now that I'm ending it and about to go to high school. But I was thinking about the experience part, and I was thinking of like how now, since I'm going to be entering the teenage years or whatever, I won't be susceptible to what the normal teenagers would normally experience during those years. Not bashing it or anything like that, but like, I mean, not like bashing the people who had to go through that. That's what I'm saying. But just like saying like I won't be susceptible to those things because I have my own values and I would rather continue to choose access to the Most High God rather than choosing an experience for a day or two, or choosing like an experience that you'll probably look back on once you're older and be like, dang, I wish I never experienced that, or dang, I wish I never went to that party or something, because then this would never happen, or I would have never met this person and my life would have never went in this direction. Or like, because you know, a big thing now is teenage pregnancy. So you know, meeting that person and thinking that you, what Dre said, that false love and stuff, thinking that you love this person, you're gonna go down that path and give them a child, and then think like, dang, if I would have looked at you for who you were and seen that you were never honest to me, you never really loved me, you weren't loyal to me, or all of these things, and I gave you a child. So now I have to like look back on that whole thing, and not that I regret the child, but it's like I regret meeting you, because it will be like I would have never had to go down that path and have that experience and carry that. And you probably would never get freed up from that unless you meet someone who has the capacity.
Karaya the fire.
Unless you meet someone who has the capacity to free you up from that, and someone who understands how deep that is and how deep it is to free you up from that. So yeah, that's what I was really thinking about over here.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Praises.
I want to say something really quick. What was coming up to my spirit in this class? I want to have a very transparent moment right now. So I've been recently I've been finding myself in these situations where I have a piece of Kiana from the indoctrination in my ear about a bunch of things, like about how having like memories and thinking back to old things that happened to me, of when maybe a lot of people have hurt me, but I still continue to go forward and pursue this person, or just show love for this person or these people. And in those memories, I included, there was my husband. I was thinking about my husband back in the world, but there's been a lot of moments where I've been just, there's been thoughts coming up to me, just thinking about like how, like, why do you like, all right, okay, yesterday I was breaking down, I was having a heart to heart to the most high, and I was like, well, I thought it was a heart to heart, but I believe that the indoctrinated Kiana was still in my ear, and I was asking him, why does my heart, why do I allow people, like, why do I still show up in love to people who hurt me? And just constantly like talking about that, and kind of what Uncle Dre was talking about, how you're seeing love as a weakness, and I definitely yesterday was portraying it like that. I was seeing it as a weakness. Like, why is my heart is so like, is this person has really done some things mentally, and I still somehow, some way, every single time still am able to show up in love towards this person. Why can't I be I was out of line stuff. Obviously, I know now, but I was just saying, like, why can't I just be petty or not, like, have that love turn off, or, you know, not be so forgiving to people? Why do I always have to show up, and, like, why is there room still in my heart for that? And so I was just talking to him about that, crying, doing whatever in my feelings. And I think this class, good thing I was up here, because I think this class is a good reminder that definitely definitely that heart, my loving heart that I have for people, even if they show up a certain type of way for me, that's not a weakness. It's definitely a strength of mine. It's what's gonna make me become even a stronger leader going forward in this remnant. And so it was just a good reminder, because I definitely was harping about that, been having just a lot of situations where I'm just thinking, like, things like that, like, why am I still able to love this person, or some crazy stuff, or why
do you have capacity?
that's a good way to put it, for sure. Why do I have so much capacity in my heart for these people? But I'm really glad that that was touched upon, because I was having thoughts towards my husband as well, and recently had a situation, and just a whole bunch of things that's just piling up on each other. And so yesterday I had that heart to heart with the Most High, and I obviously this is way the Holy Ghost is letting me know that that's a strength, Kiana. Don't think that's a weakness of yours. That's what's literally. I didn't create you with how should I put it? Yeah, to be small. You are meant to have this big heart, because you are meant to be a giant. That's why I've chosen you to be here. So, just saying, it's definitely a good reminder. But yeah.
I think that's extremely powerful, Kiana. But let's broaden it out.
Yes.
Let's broaden it out. I am so glad that I'm so glad about the capacity of the Most High God, because, boy, there's many times I done blown it. I'm glad I don't ask him. Yeah, listen. I'm just glad that he has shown me an example of that love. Me personally, you know what I'm saying? I am so glad that he showed me what that looks like, right? So when Kiana was saying that, I was like, man, God could be saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's just, he's God. God is love, right? But we broke down what the love was. So I'm just glad that the Most High has the capacity that he has for not only me, but for the remnant. And you think about the places in life that we were at, and if we, let me say it like this. I used to always say, I'm glad you Negroes didn't sentence me. A lot of you guys might not understand that, but because sometimes when you're going through situations and courts and stuff, some Negroes will have you underneath the penitentiary. The way they talk about you, boy, they'll have you done did 1,000 years as far as how they judge you. Negroes will judge you. Negroes will be having you doing 1,000 years. Oh, he's rap, he's this, that, and the other, which is why I say I'm glad these Negroes didn't judge me, because I wouldn't be here standing with you guys right now. So I'm very, very happy that God's judgment is not man's judgment at the end of the day. So when Kiana is talking about, in essence, why does she got the capacity? It needs to be switched. That I know why I got the capacity, and that's what ended up being. I know why I have the capacity. Giants got the capacity. God got the capacity. leaders got the capacity. Remnant leaders got the capacity. Mighty women of God got the capacity. Mighty men of God's got the capacity. You in good company. Everybody don't got the capacity because everybody don't got your assignment or your purpose. You know? So that's why.
I was gonna tell Kiana that my whole life has been like that. And I never understood why, you know, that I had the capacity, but the Most High was expanding it, right? And as I went along, I never understood, like, I'm like this. Why do I get this in return? Because I was always looking at the return instead of looking at the value within in the capacity within myself and the purpose for that capacity. It wasn't for them, right? But in the long run, it could be, because then nobody can ever come back and say, well, they could say it out of anger because the indoctrination always blames, right? They always look for somebody to blame, but you know who you are and who you were, right? To that person or to those people. Like when I say that I've been everything, if I say I've been a mother to you, right? Like my own kids, and I got back the opposite from you, right? But I would feel some kind of way, but then I would be like, well, why am I mad? Because that's who I am anyway. I didn't do it for you to feel some kind of way. I did it because that's who I am, right? Then it's not going to change nothing in you. And that leaves that person being whoever they want to be, right? So it's just building in you. It's like he always says, if you're a leader and you have to learn to love beyond your pain, right? Then you shouldn't be a leader.
And you haven't
Learn to love beyond your pain, then you shouldn't be a leader, right? And those are leader qualities, right? So, you know, me knowing that, irregardless of whatever I'm giving, it's not about you, right? It's not about you, whoever. It's just about who I am as a person, period. And it's an asset to you because not a lot of people can do that. Most people are looking to only be a particular way to somebody who's some kind of way to them. And that's not a leader, right? So it's a quality. I wanted to tell you that because I've been that way my whole life, right? My whole life. And I've seen it all, heard it all, like couldn't believe, you know, because it'll be like after everything I've been, you do this or you be like that or you do that. And the Most High was just showing me it wasn't about them, right? But in the long run, whatever their blame was, you always were made blameless because the indoctrination blames, right? So just know that that is beautiful. And your capacity is huge, right? To be able to be that kind of person, to love beyond your pain, right? And then after a while, you will know that that is just who you are and you'll learn to embrace it instead of looking at it as, why do I do this? Why me?
Because you only
right?
looked at it like that because you thought it was a weakness.
Right. Right. And it's not, it is a strength.
Yeah. It's like God.
Most definitely. So yeah, all praises.
All right. That's it, Remnant. We'll see you next week. I hope it